What's up, my people, man? We back with another one, back with another banger, man. Again, I appreciate y'all. If y'all been tuning in, y'all been subscribing, y'all been going ahead liking the videos, bruh. I appreciate it. I'm forever grateful. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell so you always notified, man. We've been going up lately. You might want to join the community before it get too big, you know, get forgotten about. Nah, I'm playing. But you might want to go ahead and join the community. You know, get in early, help the young king grow. But I do want to say, I did read some comments and people saying, you know, make the videos bigger. I got y'all. Give me some time. I hear you. I agree with you. Give me some time. We still starting off. This like second month of the channel, man. It's only like the second month. So yeah, I appreciate it. I hear y'all. I got you. Let's get right into it, man.
Was in her bed one night when she sees this. One night, a mother by the name Marquette was looking over her baby monitor. When suddenly, she notices something strange moving across her daughter's room. Scared and having no idea what that was, she goes over to check on her, and this happens.
Your cat here? No, it's okay. I was just checking on you. Good night. I love you. Huh? You're scary?
Her daughter tells her she's scared.
Why? There's no monster in the window. I'll look. See? I'll look.
That she's seeing a monster watching her from the window. Horrified by this strange gut feeling that something wasn't right, she took her to her room.
In the 18th century, you could bring your
Dang,
dog
you seen an orb though?
and pay your admission by feeding them to the lions. These are terrifying facts you wish you never knew. Part 6. There's an antidepressant that eliminates somebody's ability to feel love and compassion. Even if your phone is using incognito mode, Wi-Fi routers still keep logs of what websites you visit, and the owner of the router can check this whenever they want. In 1963, the Bronx Zoo had an exhibit. It was called The Most Dangerous Animal in the World. It was a mirror. You got 12 hours to eat every hot dog game here for $1,000 each. You can pick 3 friends to help you. Who are you choosing? Let me know down below. A man had went to the doctors complaining about discomfort in his throat. When they checked, they found an octopus living in it. It was surviving off all the food he was eating and absorbing it. It turns out the man had went to a sushi restaurant and had eaten a live octopus. It's a delicacy in South Korea. It decided to move in instead. When Tatanisha Hedman found out that her husband was being inappropriate with her daughter, she kept quiet, waited for him to fall asleep, doused him with gasoline, and lit him on fire. She then admitted to police that she lit him on fire because shooting him would have been too nice.
The Hat Man is a...
Hey, hold on. Bro had an octopus living in his throat, bro. Oh my god. That's why y'all don't catch me eating raw sushi, bro. It gotta be cooked all the way. Fully cooked, bro. I'm not doing it. I done seen the parasites living in people's stomachs, tapeworms. I done seen a octopus living in somebody's throat, bro. Eating off all the food. Oh, how did you not feel that, bro? That one beyond me. But old girl, she should have lit him on fire. She should have chopped the body up. She should have did everything. I wouldn't even have set him on fire. I would have tortured him or something. Like, and I shouldn't even say that, but don't touch kids, bro. Straight up. You gotta like, you gotta make whatever you do to him a long-lasting torture. It has to be, bro. No other way. No other way. But the pills that let people not feel love and compassion, you gotta be a... I wonder what happened to you in your life, bro.
A pretty infamous entity, and I'm sure you've heard about him at least once. He is a tall, shadowy, lanky figure that wears a very tall top hat. And typically people see him when they're half asleep and half awake while having sleep paralysis. But some people have seen them while they've been completely awake, and I was one of those people. So here's that story. So I was actually visiting my aunt this day. She still lived on... Okay, backstory. I grew up on a very haunted farm. The location was just all messed up. But my dad's almost entire side of the family lived there as well because everyone helped on that farm at some point. So, one house was me and my parents, the house in front of us was my aunt, the house in front of that was my uncle, and the one beside of him was my grandmother.
They all live close.
When this happened, I was at my aunt's house. We were outside sitting on her porch, and I happened to look over to the left. And I see this figure, super tall, shadowy figure with a top hat, lurking around her house. But he wasn't solid black, like the shadow figure typically is. He was iridescent. So I look at my aunt and I'm like, did you see that? I just saw that. And she was like, yeah, I see him here all the time. So I have seen him wide awake, but I also did see him once or twice in sleep paralysis, and it's never been fun. Sleep paralysis in itself is horrifying. Add this shadowy figure and you've got nightmare fuel. To anyone that gets sleep paralysis, have you noticed when you lay in a certain position you get it more? Because I literally can't sleep on my back.
A couple of boys.
I can't sleep on my back either unless I'm sick. If I sleep on my back, I astral project. Crazy. I just slept on my back one time. I looked to the left and I seen something swinging right. I seen it going to work. But before that, I felt like it was a weird pull. Like my soul was pulled. It felt weird, super weird. I knew something was happening though. Everything was like bluish, purple kind of around me. I look to the left. I see the silhouette of something swinging. Bro, it's me. That was me swinging. It sound crazy. It sound weird. But I looked to the left. I seen the silhouette just swinging. Because I was scared, bro. So I'm trying to swing. And I realized, no, that's you, bro. That's you. But I was laying down. And I still seen my silhouette of myself. It was so weird. So weird. But I'm convinced that it was me astral projecting. But I was probably in the middle of it. Or, I don't know. Probably either leaving or going in. And some of me still was like in my vessel. And some of me, my spirit, I could see my spirit at the same time. Weird. Crazy. But I can't sleep on my back. I get sleep paralysis or I astral project. Wild to me.
Were playing instruments in Indonesia. Everything was fine. They were having fun until all of a sudden something creepy happened. One of the masks starts moving by itself, and this is what they caught on camera.
These kids not even scared, bro.
Have you ever wondered what
Could've
happened
been the last
this
time.
exact day 300 years ago? Well, this is what happened in history today, part 1. Up first, on July 20th, 1969, Apollo 11 landed on the moon. It was carrying Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, who would become the first humans to walk on the moon.
Lying.
Next up, on July 20th, 1793, Scottish explorer Alexander Mackenzie completed the first European east-to-west crossing of America north of Mexico. It's crazy to me that on this exact day a couple hundred years ago, people were exploring the land that we call home. Next up, on July 20th, 1881, Sioux Indian chief Sitting Bull surrendered to the U.S. federal troops. Sitting Bull was an Indian tribe leader who led his people during years of resistance against United States government policies. He surrendered in exchange for amnesty for his people. Finally, on July 20th, 1917, the World War I draft was held. Secretary Baker, who was blindfolded, drew the first number from a bowl, followed by many other numbers over the course of 16 and a half hours, and every number was a different man. And believe it or not, but on that day, 1.3 million men were called up for the draft. This literally happened on this exact day.
Hey, I just seen a podcast. What I think it was JFK's son. I think it was on Math Office. Shout out to Math Office podcast. And he was talking about how we've been to war. I think 140 something times or something like that. However he worded it. And he said, I think he said China and Russia or something. One of them countries. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on it. But he said they only been to war a few times. And he said there's something wrong with the United States. The way we think, the way we go about things. We are the problem. And yeah. 1 million people to go to war, bro? Really? I mean, we went to war about 9/11, and was it really what it was? We went off what they told us. Not off what we know. Because building 9 I think it was? Building 7. One of them buildings next to it put a insurance claim down before the World Trade Center was blown up. You heard what I said, right? Language. But, just saying, why we need that many people to go to war? And why we have war that so often? I know it comes to money and it raises the taxes, but really, like, come on. Y'all locking people up in our country for retaliation and y'all retaliate. I'm just saying, man.
No manchen, esta casa está embrujada. Vean esos ladrillos. Están flotando. Están flotando. Miren. Vean. Tan bello. Tengo miedo.
Bestie, have you ever heard of the creepy game called Mumadopi? It's a game you play with a spirit who calls herself Mumadopi. If you're able to win this game, then she'll make sure you marry whoever your heart's desire. All you need to play the game is a bowl of rice. Exactly at midnight, fill the bowl of rice up with water. Make sure the rice is well soaked in the water. After this, turn off all your lights in your house. Go in front of your mirror with nothing but a lit candle. Wash your face with the rice water while staring in the mirror. While washing your face with the water, repeat the words, Mumadopi, 18 times. When you open your eyes, you'll see Mumadopi peering out the mirror, looking straight at you. Don't be confused if your own reflection becomes Mumadopi. The game is simple. Don't scream when you see her, but simply whisper the name of the one you desire, and she will guarantee. Do you guys think I should play this game on live? Then heart this video and follow.
If you see this at your window, get out of the house immediately.
Stop! You gotta go. Shh. Calm down. What are you?
The rest of this video will send chills down your spine. But before I show it...
Before we go on with the rest of the video, my advice to y'all, you see something like that at your window, that's why you always need to be prepared. That's why you always need to keep one on you. Because he or she, whatever it is at that window. I'm gonna slide that. I'm gonna have a way for that door to slide open. Come up in here. Because I guarantee you ain't leaving, bro. I'm blowing and I'm blowing and I'm blowing until ain't nothing left. And then I'm gonna blow another one. And I'm letting it ring, bro. Because I don't know if it's human. I don't know if it's not human. But we about to protect by any means. And the fear gonna get turned into anger. Yeah, I'm scared, but I'm gonna substitute that for anger. I'm gonna use all that on whatever I gotta do to get you up out of my existence and out of my place. Cause yeah, the way we live life, we decipher all negativity, and that looks negative. So we gonna decipher all negativity and get that all up out of here by any means possible, straight up. But yeah, I'm not about to get that close so calmly and be turning the lights and hitting lights and talking to my dog. Nah, we're gonna have a pit ready to go, and we're gonna be like, hey bro, go ahead, do your thing, and I'm here to protect you, and I'm gonna be blowing while you chewing him up. Or I'm gonna get the blowing first, and then I'm gonna let you loose and you go get him. Either way, but just saying, always stay prepared. Yeah, always stay ready, bro.
To you, I must warn you. I can only protect my subscribers who have liked and shared this video. Jack is a young man who had just moved to a countryside house to enjoy the peace and quiet. Everything was fine until one worrying night. Sitting in his living room, he heard a noise on his terrace. A noise that sounded eerily like knocks on a window. Even though he was scared, he gathered his courage and decided to go check it out with his dog. What he saw made his heart pound at a terrifying pace. But what happens next is even more terrifying. Here's the video.
Stop!
Never mind him. Never mind.
Here are
Never
5
mind.
scary videos
Never
from the
mind.
internet.
Take all that back.
In this video, we see a dog staring at something and appearing frightened by it. However, when the person moves the camera to where the dog is staring, there is nothing there.
He's shaking.
It is often believed that animals can perceive things that humans can't.
Driver, because he could have did something to somebody in that car and then it's trying to show to the camera the truth that really
The
went
next
on.
video shows a group of friends cruising on their quad bike.
A man has been sentenced to...
If it's edited, if it's an edit or it's fake, like, why when the, I don't know, maybe it could have been fake. I don't know. I believe stuff like that can happen. I don't know. I'm in the dark with that one. What y'all think? Let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments and then have a conversation about that. Because I'm curious about what y'all feel.
death for the catfishing murder of 12-year-old Justin Bloxom. Brian Horn was first convicted of this crime in 2015 but was given a retrial. And after just 45 minutes of deliberation, a jury once again sentenced him to death. Justin Bloxom had been texting a 15-year-old girl that he'd never met before. This girl said she'd gotten his phone number from someone he went to school with, but little did he know it was actually a grown man. This girl got very flirty with Justin and at one point sent him a photo to which he responded, "Remember, I'm only 12. Justin had been texting this catfish more and more, and one night when he was sleeping over at a friend's house, she said that she could call a taxi to pick him up. But little did he know the taxi driver was the person who had been texting him the entire time. Prosecutors said that Brian picked Justin up in his work taxi, but then the taxi broke down on the side of the road. He held Justin against his will in his car before suffocating him and dumping his body nearby. There were cuts on the inside of Justin's mouth consistent with the pattern of his braces, and there was also evidence that he'd been strangled. Because the preteen boy was found in water, it was difficult to determine whether or not he'd been touched inappropriately prior to his death. The amount of premeditation he put into this case is really scary because he actually asked his young neighbor if he could see her phone to download ringtones off of it, and that's when he swiped Justin's number. Brian's wife described them as swingers and said that he suggested bringing a younger boy into the mix. Action Taxi Service has also lost their business license after allowing a offender to drive their cars. Justin's law was also passed to enforce hiring restrictions on those with a offender background. This was a viewer-requested case, and I'm so glad it finally came to a conclusion. Let me know which case you'd like to hear next in the comments.
Want to get creeped up?
Again, this is why a girl who did that to that dude, when she burnt him, she should have tortured him. I ain't gonna go in detail about all that, but she should have tortured him. Because these type of people is not okay, and they're not acceptable. Not around me, they not. Because them is kids, they pure innocent. Let them live their life.
So, let's talk about someone else who tried the Three Kings Challenge. This story was from a Reddit user who was very interested in the paranormal. If you don't know what the Three Kings Challenge is, I did do a video on it, but basically it's a way to see the shadow side, and you have to follow the rules exactly to a T. For storytelling purposes, we're going to name this girl Anna. When Anna initially read about this challenge or ritual, she felt like it was a bit too much for her. She was excited reading it, but the thought of sitting in a dark basement and trying to connect with the shadow side made her skin crawl. So initially she dismissed the idea of trying this challenge, but it was always in the back of her mind, and eventually she just decided that she wanted to try it. A lot of people ask why anyone would want to try this, and the reason is because it could be an enlightening experience. This challenge or ritual is also associated with a lot of self-discovery, so Anna wanted to do it because of that. She had overcome depression, so felt like she was in a good place, was interested in connecting with the shadow side due to the fact that her cousin had passed away about 4 years prior. Anna and her cousin were very close, and she considered him a best friend. You do need to have a loved one to help you with this ritual, so Anna chose her sister-in-law, who she was very close with. Her sister-in-law was reluctant at first, rightfully so, but eventually agreed. Anna set everything up the way she was supposed to, and again was looking for an enlightening experience, not one where everything goes wrong and is terrible. So Anna set her alarm for 3:30 in the morning and went to sleep. She had a very strange dream that she was wearing a white gown and walking through a cemetery. Nothing else happened in the dream, but she did feel like it was strange, as she normally remembers her dreams, and they normally weren't like that. Anna's alarm clock went off at 3:30 on the dot like it was supposed to, which does not always happen when people are wanting to try this challenge. She grabbed all the items you're supposed to bring with you and made her way into the dark basement storage room where she was going to be completing this ritual. Her power object, she chose a picture of her and her cousin from when they were 10 years old and at an arcade, which is really sweet. She sat down and put the picture in between her lap, held the candle in her hands, and tried to mentally prepare for what might happen. For the first few minutes, nothing happened at all, and she actually felt pretty disappointed by this. Then, kind of out of nowhere, she started to feel this deep feeling of despair and just complete utter sadness. Anna noticed in her peripheral that the mirror on the right looked like it had water droplets running down it. Felt a tear run down her cheek, and she wasn't sure if this was from sadness or fear. That's when she heard a comforting shh from the left side of the room. The left mirror looked lighter somehow, but Anna was still terrified, and she was just focusing on looking straight ahead and not looking at the mirrors. Then she heard a voice from the right side of the room, and it was her own voice that said, "No." Anna asked, "No what?" The voice on the right side of the room responded very angrily and said, "Don't stop crying, you fucked bitch." The voice on the left side continued to go shh in a comforting manner. Well, for part 2.
This man died in 1841, and yet his head is still perfectly preserved. It once belonged to Diego Alves, although it still technically does. And between 1836 to 1840, he killed 70 people. But at the time, they didn't even know these people were being murdered. That's because of how he would do it. In the capital of Portugal, there was a giant aqueduct that would essentially connect one side of the land, like a giant bridge. Therefore, many farmers would cross this regularly so they could sell their goods in the city. Diago knew this, so he would hide on the aqueduct at night and then jump out when the farmers were passing. He would rob them and then proceed to push them over the side of the aqueduct, and they would fall 213 feet to their death. For a long time, authorities assumed that these people were jumping willingly. But once 70 people started to jump from the same spot, it became clear that there was a pattern. He was eventually caught and executed in February of 1841. And at the time, scientists were intrigued to see how a seemingly normal-looking person could commit such horrific crimes without any remorse. So after execution, they removed his head so they could study his brain. Although, at the lack of medical advancements and technology, they weren't able to do much. But it was put in a jar of formaldehyde, and it's still on display to this day at the University of Lisbon's Faculty of Medicine. For decades, it has...
They tried to study this man's brain to figure out why he's doing these things just because he looks normal and he has no remorse. What? So killers look a certain way? I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer's do. I mean, I've seen a whole list of dudes that look like Jeffrey Dahmer, and they all did the same type of actions. But I'm not going to throw them all in one category, though, just because you look like Jeffrey Dahmer. Yeah, you look like him, but I'm not going to say you will do the same thing. You could be a good soul. What I'm getting at is serial killers don't have a certain look all the time. They don't have a certain gender. They don't have a certain ethnicity. They don't have a certain culture. You could be walking down the street and walk past somebody who's a serial killer and not even know it, and they could be wearing a suit and tie. Like, this is where the stereotypes come in. They so worried about he looks like this, he looks like that, how could he do this, and let's study his brain. No, study his brain for the actions he did in general. Just don't study it because his actions and he looks like this. No, that's out, bro. Stop doing that. Like, yeah, that's dumb, man. And focus on the stuff that we giving that's in the media. Stuff that the hardships people gotta go through, the drama, the trauma, all that stuff, bro. They childhood stuff don't be perfect, and that sometimes causes people. Sometimes it's in your genes. Like, yeah, sometimes it's just a mental health that maybe, yeah, sometimes you can figure it out, sometimes you can't. It ain't always. Anyways, sometimes people kill me. They want to study the brain. Why don't you just study how people live now? There's people on the street right now who don't have a house, who will go to the extreme levels of just harming other people because they have nothing else to lose, because they don't have anything. I'm just saying.
It's been known throughout the horror community that the Poltergeist franchise is cursed. So welcome to Cursed Films with Stoney the Great. The Poltergeist franchise consists of 3 films, released in 1982, 1986, and 1988. But there were some very strange things that happened on the set of all 3 of these movies. For example, many of the cast and crew of the movie reported feeling strange cold spots on set, being followed after shooting was over. One of the stars of the movie, JoBeth Williams, reported that all the pictures in her house will always turn up cricket no matter how many times she fixed it. Other cast and crew members even reported hearing voices in their home when they were by themselves. Another incident that occurred with JoBeth Williams is that she was unaware that the skeletons that were in the pool with her were real skeletons. But as if that wasn't creepy enough, the most disturbing part of the Poltergeist curse is the 5 deaths that occurred
I heard about that.
over with. Dominique Dunn, who played the eldest daughter in the original Poltergeist film, was tragically murdered on October 30th, 1982, the same year that the movie came out. As a matter of fact, it was only a few months after the movie came out. Her ex-boyfriend was convicted of the murder. Heather O'York, who portrayed the young girl Carol in all 3 of the movies, sadly passed away February 1st, 1988 at the age of 12 years old. Once again, shortly after finishing a Poltergeist film, Poltergeist 3 had just got done. The cause of death was complications due to an intestinal blockage, which was initially misdiagnosed. Julian Beck, who played the preacher in Poltergeist 2, died of stomach cancer during the film's production in 1985. William Sampson, who played the medium in Poltergeist 2, died in 1987 due to complications from a kidney transplant. Lastly, Lou Perryman, who had a very small role in the first Poltergeist movie, was murdered in his home in 2009. Now, this one was very far removed from the Poltergeist movies, but it falls right in line with how the other people of the movies passed away through some strange illness or them being murdered by somebody. These incidents, combined with the strange things that occurred on set, all combined with the creepy nature of the movies themselves, and now the Poltergeist curse lives on to be one of the horror genre's most infamous urban legends. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up episode 1 of Cursed Films with Stoney the Great. I really hope you enjoyed this, and if you want, please comment and like below it. I'll keep on.
And they were both found dead.
That's wild,
she
bro.
Must have been out of her head.
My god, this is literally the dumbest man on earth. Hi, my name is Ethan, and here's everything you need to know in under 1 minute. On June 26, 2023, Patrick Profright and his wife were having an argument. Now, they had just had a baby that was only 3 weeks old, so the argument was early in the morning, which is understandable because they are suffering from lack of sleep and just a whole new adjustment. While Patrick's wife was holding the baby, Patrick entered the room holding a crossbow. The mood immediately shifted, and trigger warning, it's about to get dark. He allegedly
repeatedly raised the bow and shot at his wife. When he did, it accidentally hit his 3-week-old baby and his wife. He then pulled the arrow out of his wife and begged her not to call 911, but when she did regardless, he fled the scene. Thankfully, he was found and arrested and charged with second-degree murder and attempted, and his wife was okay. Unfortunately,
Now, don't freak out, but in...
That remind me of the movie Let's Talk About Kevin. Go watch that on, I think it's Netflix, or I don't remember what it's on. It might be Prime. I think it's Prime. Go check that out, man. The son got the tripping. That's all I'm gonna say. Very similar to this, but way worse. Nah, it's about equivalent, cause he hit his daughter on accident. I think he hit his daughter on accident. So yeah, nah. This one bad. But since it's a movie, yeah. Let's Talk About Kevin is bad too, but not as bad as this, because it's real life. But yeah, dude tripping. He tripping. He trying to hit his wife. He had too much stress on his shoulders. He should not have had kids, he shouldn't have had a kid or got married. Girlfriend or nothing. He shouldn't have just should have been by himself, because that's clearly he having too much on his shoulders. He can't handle it. He can't handle it.
2 days, Virgin Galactic is going to launch its first commercial flight, meaning you can pay to visit space. It will cost you $450,000 and for that price, you will get to go on a 90-minute tour of space. They will take you to the edge of space and let you float around in weightlessness while you look at the beautiful views of our very round and not flat planet. They have already sold 100 tickets and plan on launching a crew every single month. The question is, would you go on this trip to space? I will take one for the team and show you all what it's like, so make sure you tag Virgin...
If you see this in your room, rush into it. Maybe Travis Scott is in there. The rest of this video is truly terrifying, but before I show it to you, I must warn you. I can only protect my subscribers who have liked and shared this video. Sarah is an 8-year-old girl who has always had a vivid imagination. She often spoke of her imaginary friends, which did not particularly worry her parents, until the day Sarah began to talk about the thin man who lived in her closet. She said he only came out at night and that he was very tall, very thin, and very scary. Her parents thought it was just a product of her rampant imagination, until one night when they heard a strange noise coming from Sarah's room. They found Sarah standing in front of her closet, which was oddly shaking. Even scared, Sarah found the courage to open the closet door. What she found there exceeded anything one could imagine, as nobody was able to film it here, is a representation of what happened. I'll show you this right away.
Yeah, right. I thought it for a second. I don't think that one was real, but hey, could have been. Telling me to shh. Hell no.
Creepy unsolved mystery. Where did all the crew go?
Oh, we would have ran too, bruh.
On December 5th, 1872, a ship called the Mary Celeste was found empty and drifting in the Atlantic. It had set sail from New York City 8 days prior and was headed to Genoa, Italy, but was found 400 miles east of the Azores. The ship's cargo was still intact, the crew's belongings were still in their rooms, and 6 months of food still on board, according to Smithsonian Mag. While there was 3.5 feet of water in the ship's bottom, it was still seaworthy. The only thing missing was a lifeboat, which it appeared had been boarded in an orderly fashion. No one knows what happened to the crew or why they left the ship.
The disturbing truth about the Wizard of Oz. Ho, ho, ho!
Check out The Wiz. That's like, yeah, if you come from the hood, man, we had our own version of that with Diana Ross, Michael Jackson, like, yeah, go check out The Wiz. It's the black version of The Wizard of Oz. I still like The Wizard of Oz. I was raised on that too. So, The Wizard of Oz is cool to me. But I like The Wiz too. The Wiz used to scare me as a kid. The Witch used to scare me in Wizard of Oz as a kid. But Yeah. Check out The Wiz, man. W-I-Z. The Wiz.
If this is true, this is very disturbing. For those that have watched The Wizard of Oz, this scene right here is a very popular one and looks somewhat normal until you look into the background. In the background of this photo, you can see this black speck right up here. Now, as this scene plays out and these characters are all walking down the yellow brick road, you can see this black dot right here swinging back and forth. This is actually rumored to be a Munchkin that took their life on set. To put it in perspective as to why this could have happened, the Munchkins were severely mistreated on set. In fact, many Munchkins didn't even earn as much as Toto the dog did during the movie. However, how true is this really? This is the remastered scene right here when they made the quality better, and you can see that in the background this is actually a bird. And if you actually go back and rewatch the original Wizard of Oz, this is much more apparent as well. This still doesn't stop people from theorizing that they remastered it just to remove this, but there really isn't any good evidence, and in my opinion, this is edited.
Horror videos you probably didn't know about.
That's an edit though, cause the dog would have went crazy, bro. Dogs go crazy when they feel energy or negative presence like that around them. That's what I noticed. Dogs always go crazy. Cats might be cool. I don't really rock with cats, but cats be kind of cooling. They be chilling, but the dogs, they go crazy. So that's why I'm looking at that like, man, that might have been fake. Like that's Photoshop edit something. Yeah, CGI is something, but that ain't no. That probably wasn't real. You not gonna help her up, bro? Took his sweet time. I think I seen this one. It was in Mexico, if I'm not mistaken. At a restaurant, I think, or a store? Way down there. And, oh shit. Now that might be fake. He on the wall, huh?
She went missing after telling her
fake.
sister she was scared for her life. 19-year-old Caitlyn Dennison had flown to Midland, Texas to a guy she'd met in her hometown of Reno. Caitlyn really liked this guy at first, but when she made the last-minute visit to Texas, things went downhill very quickly. They'd known each other for a few weeks before he bought her the ticket to visit him, and her family wasn't aware of this relationship. Caitlyn flew into the Midland airport around 1 p.m. on January 9th, 2018, and she went missing the next day. Her last communication was at 2:30 on January 10th when she called her family using the Wi-Fi at a Midland Walmart because she didn't have offline service. During that phone call, Caitlyn reportedly called this guy a whack job and said that she was scared for her life. However, she never said his name or the address of where they were staying. Right after calling on January 10th, Caitlyn sent her sister a pin of her location right after the phone call ended. But she's not been heard from since. She's confirmed to have been at that Walmart and also went into Rick's Cabaret to see if they were hiring. A witness came forward to say that Caitlyn was with a trucker, and if you know me, you know I think truckers are creepy AF. Police contacted the man she was staying with, but because it's an open investigation, his name is not public. Caitlyn struggled with mental health and drinking, which is why it's been hard to get adequate media and police attention on this case. And those factors can also make someone a target for human trafficking. Her family has been working tirelessly to spread awareness on social media, and I work directly with them to make this video. So I don't want to see any negativity in the comment section. The family also has a GoFundMe set up to pay for a private investigator, and I have that linked in my bio. Anyone with information about this case is asked to call Crime Stoppers. The first tip that helps solve the case will be worth a $2,500 cash reward.
Here's some morbid facts.
Y'all seen that movie Deadstream? I ain't never seen that. If it's still on Netflix, let me know. I'm probably gonna search that later and see what it's hitting for.
That you didn't know about the bombing of Hiroshima.
Many people who witnessed the nuclear blast firsthand were blinded instantly. Some were even left with permanent atomic bomb cataracts like this one.
Dang.
When the bomb dropped, the blast was so powerful that it permanently burned the shadows of objects and people into the ground. A few of these objects still remain imprinted in the Peace Memorial Museum. Some Hiroshima survivors eventually grew black fingernails that looked like this. These fingernails contained active blood vessels and bled profusely when they broke off. The massive destruction of Hiroshima was caused by only a half gram of matter being converted into energy, which is about the same weight as a butterfly. If you're a certain distance from a nuclear explosion, you won't die immediately. Instead, you'll get third-degree burns all over your body, and your nerves will be killed so fast that you'll barely even feel it. This happened to a lot of people in Hiroshima, and when rescuers would grab their arms to help them, their skin would slide off like a glove.
The lady that burnt the dude up for touching her daughter, that's what should have happened to him. And if the dude that's the reason why that girl Caitlyn is missing, he need the same thing happen to him. And anybody who else touch kids, that's the same thing that need to happen to them. Let's put them through all that, something like that, bro. Torture, that's what I'm talking about. So when you try to, because we ain't gonna pick their arm up after we done put them through hell like that. We just gonna let the skin rip off, bro. That's what we gonna do. Y'all wanna touch kids and the innocent and kidnap women and do all this type of stuff and abduct them and human trafficking and all that, bro? Hey, send them over there and we gonna use that experiment on them. Drop it in the comments and spam it if you agree. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm being super positive. We're removing all the negative out of this realm and we're going to have nothing but positive here. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm riding for. Y'all let me know. I'm just playing, y'all. I wasn't being serious. I wasn't being serious, bro. I was just playing.
I think the Megalodon was scary. Well, let me introduce you to its predator, the Leviathan. The Leviathan is an extinct species of sperm whale that ruled the ocean. This creature was massive, reaching up to 26 feet long. That's 16 feet longer than a school bus. But the real nightmare was its mouth. The largest tooth ever found in history belongs to the Leviathan, measuring 14 inches long. Its teeth allowed it to shred anything that crossed its path, from dolphins to sharks, and even whales. It's highly probable that battles between the Megalodon and the Leviathan took place, since they lived during the same era. The Megalodon had a wider mouth than the Leviathan, which allowed it to inflict greater injuries, targeting vital organs. On the other hand, the Leviathan had a larger brain, since sharks aren't particularly known for being smart. The Leviathan also had another major advantage in a fight: echolocation. This allowed it to better anticipate its opponent's attacks. Therefore, one could imagine a rather balanced fight. But it's worth noting that the Megalodon is estimated to have lived for nearly 20 million years, while the Leviathan is believed to have gone extinct after just 1 million years of existence. Subscribe for more videos.
This girl killed her mum and then texted a photo of her body to her dad. In 2013, Rachel Hudson and her family were supposed to be celebrating Thanksgiving at their home in Virginia. However, the holiday would take a horrendously sinister turn. Rachel's mum was terminally ill 58-year-old Susan Lee. Rachel had been her mum's carer since she was just 9 years old. On the evening in question, Rachel and her dad got into an argument. When her dad left the house the next day to make the most of the Black Friday sales, Rachel did something unthinkable. She took a weapon out of the wardrobe and loaded it. She apparently thought about unaliving herself at this point, but she didn't want to put her mum through the trauma of finding her body. She then walked into the room where her mum was and said, "I'm sorry, this is what has to happen." Her mum apparently told her, "You're crazy," and this is the point where Rachel killed her mum. When she texted her dad to break the news to him, he obviously didn't believe what she was saying. She then took a photo of her mum's body and texted it over to her dad. Rachel was sentenced initially to 50 years in prison, but this was reduced to 18 years because of an apparent undiagnosed mental illness.
I'ma just say, she killed her mom and sent it to her dad, and you gave her 50 and you reduced it to 18 because she mentally ill? Oh God. So many other things that I could say about that, and we're gonna let that fly. But the mama probably got killed too, because when she said crazy, you don't call somebody crazy when you know they mentally ain't all the way there. You just don't do it. Because if I'm mad and I'm tripping, don't say you crazy, bro. I'm gonna get more. I'm gonna trip out even more. I'm just telling you, don't call somebody crazy. You just shouldn't say it. Honestly, you shouldn't say it. It's not cool to say. Be like, are you cool? You okay? Why you want to do this? Like, I mean, that's what I'm probably gonna say. Or with my daughter, I'm probably just gonna want to rush her from the jump. I'm gonna just want to rush her. I brought you here. I'm gonna take you out. Just playing a game. I'm just saying.
Still remains.
Just playing, y'all.
German TikTok user Arvin.de travels to the hometown of one of the most well-known exorcism cases of all time, that of Anneliese Michels. In 1975, Anneliese Michels' family claimed that she demonstrated strange behavior and dark supernatural abilities. Even Anneliese herself claimed that she was possessed by a demon. The church was called in, and Anneliese Michels went through a total of 67 exorcisms. She passed away under mysterious circumstances in her home at the age of 23. German TikToker Arvin finds a cabin that is said to have belonged to the Michels family. When he records the inside of the cabin for his TikTok page, he has no idea that he's being watched by something. Did you see it? When Arvin pans his camera, a face can be seen quickly moving away from a hole in the cabin's ceiling. Arvin says he has no idea what this creepy face could be, and he only noticed it after TikTok viewers pointed it out.
Hey.
So, is it a real face? Is it a trick of the light? Or is it all just an elaborate hoax?
These are the scariest moments.
Bro, I need to go sage. But why would you want to go back to the location of where exorcisms were once at? And if a person passed away, because that spirit could still be lingering around in the area. It still could be in that same location. So when you go, you're the first person it attaches that energy to. Why would you want to go back there? I wouldn't want to go back. I wouldn't even want to see it. Put it in a movie, I'll watch it in a movie. And then I'm a sage because I know the energy can transform itself and project from the screen that we use and we call as a television. That's why I'm just saying, I'd rather watch it than actually go visit it. Be my guest. I just sit back and just react to what you go through after you go through it. Straight up. Learn from his experiences.
In July 2020, Twitch streamer Angel Walks was streaming a Warzone tournament when suddenly you can hear loud noises and banging. Also people screaming, and as the live stream keeps going, the banging, voices, and noises all get louder. And what happens is extremely disturbing.
If you see someone behaving like that, run, even if it's your own mother. Her mom had been acting very strange over the past few days, so she ultimately decided to film her. What she captured is truly terrifying. Look at her eyes. Unfortunately, the end of the story is even more terrifying.
She looked.
After capturing the video, she encouraged her mother to go to bed. However, after about 30 minutes, she began to hear odd noises and found that her mother was no longer in her room. So she decided to search for her in the woods nearby the house. I will show you now what she discovered. You can see her mother, or rather, what she had transformed into. But her mother didn't seem to recognize her anymore.
Now, if that was real though, how she live? Cause she didn't outrun it. If that's the mother for sure did not outrun the Skinwalker. Not moving that fast, bro. I'm just saying. But she did. I wanted to say Skinwalker when I heard her making that weird noise. But before she made that weird noise, I thought she just looked wild. She looked out there, bro. She would scare me. Just don't run up over here. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't run up over here, bro. Same with your ass.
I'm about to give you guys 5 reasons on why I think Roman Bridger is the best Ghostface we have ever fucking seen. Number 5, he has caught more bodies than any other Ghostface inside this fucking franchise. Yeah, while most Ghostfaces just cap off at like 3 or 4 bodies, this dude fucked around and capped off at 9. Number 4, he is the only Ghostface that did this shit by himself. Yeah, everybody else had partners except for him. And if you ask me, it makes the 9 kills he caught in that fucking movie way more fucking impressive. Number 3, he was the first Ghostface to use the bulletproof vest. Now, I know a bunch of you are probably going to be like, well, that's not a reason he should be the best Ghostface, blah, blah, blah. Look, after he did it, everybody fucking did it. You feel me? Anytime a Ghostface wears a fucking bulletproof vest, because of Roman fucking Bridger. Number 2, he is the half-brother of Sidney fucking Prescott. Now, in my opinion, that little connection right there is better than any other connection that any other Ghostface had with Sidney Prescott. And last but not least, at number 1, this dude started everything. If he would have never recorded Billy's dad cheating on Billy's mom with Sidney's mom, Billy's mom would have never left, and Billy would have never fucking snapped and tried to kill Sidney. Anyways, those are 5 reasons on why I think Roman Bridger is the best Ghostface we have ever fucking seen. If you guys want me to drop 5 more reasons, just let me know, because I got a shit ton of them.
3 ways to survive Smile Cat. Number 1. If you hear a cat scratching at your door in the middle of the night, don't go and open it. Look at the cat and see if it smiles at you. If it does, it's Smile Cat, taking the form of a normal cat trying to work its way into your house. And once it does, it's over for you. Number 2. If you look up at the moon and it looks like a cat's face, look away as fast as possible. Being so, this is a way for Smile Cat to invade your mind, making you constantly think about it. Number 3. If your parents ever bring home a cat and it doesn't blink, and for some reason it's always smiling at you, don't ever let it sleep in your room and make sure you lock your door. Being so that if it gets in your room while you're asleep, you're practically already gone. Like and follow for more videos.
Yeah. Me? I'm not a cat person. I'm a little bit more of a dog person. Cats, intelligent, they dope. They're just not for me. But I have had cats try to climb into my, like, I had a cat crawl up the door and wiggle the knob. It wasn't our cat. He was from the outside. We didn't know who he was. I called the apartment. This lady came. She asked me if I had a soul in my apartment. I said no. I said, can you get the cat though? She got the cat. By the time she walked down the stairs and he jumped out her arms and he took off running. She said he was scared. Yeah, cats always attracted to me though. They always stand where I'm at and they just sit there and they just look at me. Or they turn their back and they just like guard me in a way. Like if I'm sitting in a car, they'll just stay over there, sit his back to me, and he's looking like he's guarding something. I don't mess with cats though, me personally. But we had a long one today, man. I appreciate y'all if y'all stuck through this one. Y'all was asking me for longer videos. I'm working on getting y'all longer videos. I'll even start going live. Y'all just start dropping it in the comments if that's what y'all want. I'll start going live and we'll start watching these videos together. I don't know if that's what y'all want to do. Y'all drop in the comments, let me know. But appreciate y'all. I ain't gonna hold y'all no longer. I need to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. And if you already have, thank you. Y'all know how we get down. And y'all know we gonna keep running it up. So yeah. But until I catch y'all in the next one, man, hit that bell so you always notified for these weekly uploads. You know, we've been dropping like a couple a week. So yeah, this a wrap on this one, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. And we up out of here. Gone.